It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 185 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Hazelnut.
It's delicious. Now, if you want to get your own, use our code CWTCL15 for 15% off bagged coffee. Now, you can go to Amazon or their website,
brightearlycoffee.com.
And K-Cups always ship free. Try it out. You're going to love it. Are you ready to sip some of this absolutely delicious hazelnut coffee and chat?
I am. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Okay, so you look better than last week when we recorded, so that's a plus. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Your voice sounds better.
Yes, I'm alive.
We have had some marathon phone conversations, so yes, we have been on the phone talking, but not have been together yet because of the dumb COVID.
Yes, the dumb COVID is about right. But the sun is shining brightly, and do you know what I have in a brooder?
What?
My goslings.
Yes, you've been spending some time with them on the lawn while we're on the phone.
Oh my God. They are the cutest thing ever. And I can't believe how fast they grow. They're just a little bit over a week old, and they already can't fit in the box that they were shipped in.
And meanwhile, the chicks are like, Mommy, what about us? Mommy.
Those chicks are getting plenty of attention. They're getting plenty of attention. All 7 of them plus the rooster makes 8.
Mommy, what about us over here?
They get tons of attention. And also, I can't take them out on the lawn. Well, okay, here's the difference. When a gosling has imprinted on you, I can just take them out of the brooder and put them on the ground, and they follow me out to the garden.
Yeah.
It's not like trying to struggle with taking out 9 wild babies.
Wait, you have 8 babies.
Did I say 9?
Where's the extra baby from?
I do not need an extra. I have got 8 chicks. I do not need an extra. Nope.
I was like, wait a minute. How'd you get a 9? How'd you get a 9?
I don't know where 9 came from. That rooster counts for 2, I guess.
I've been over here watching little Flora. She was my 3rd buff-laced Polish that from the beginning was smaller than everybody and did need some assistance with getting her going in the beginning because she was so much smaller. And she's doing great, but she is developmentally a little behind the others. So when I have pictures of her sisters and her, I'm like, oh, man. So we've been putting her up on our social. She is the cutest thing ever. All of them are so cute. But
they're very cute.
And Sophia says, it's not like a crest. It's like a helmet, Mom. I'm like, yeah, really, they are like helmets at this point.
It's a bouffant. That is a classic bouffant hairdo. It's beautiful. I love
it really is. Yeah, so we've been just over here taking care of babies, taking care of chickens. That's life, right? That's the chicken lady life.
Chicken lady life added with some geese. Oh, I don't know why I waited so long to get them. I am absolutely smitten with them.
Now, are they imprinting on Pete too? Are they following Pete around?
Yeah, they'll follow Pete around too. Yep.
Because if they didn't, that would make some good video for our Insta with them chasing Pete.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. we wouldn't be able to get them all in the frame because he's so tall. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. You never want to miss an episode. And go over to Spotify. If you're listening to us on Spotify, and hit that 5-star, we would love it. And hit subscribe. It's a free way to help us grow.
You're looking for other no-cost ways to help the podcast? You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can tell a few chicken-loving friends about the show. Now these cost. You can visit our Etsy shop. T-shirts, mugs, flowy pink tank tops. You can become a patron of the show. Patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. The other thing you can do to help support the show is visit our website and our show notes. Use our affiliate links and discount codes and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like subscription boxes?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let me take a minute to tell you about the Chicken Love Box. If you love goodies for your chickens and you need to go to chickenlove.com.
I love the mega box. Tons of useful products for my flock and a chicken tea for me.
You can't go wrong with a chicken tea. They are so cute and so soft.
In the April box, I absolutely love the chick leg bands and the organic soap set with hen decoration.
I am loving the Chicken Spirit long sleeve tee, and those chick vitamins, they could save a chick for sure.
Boxes start at $39 a month. They ship immediately after your order, and shipping is always free.
Such a great deal. Don't wait. Get off the nest and click already. Use the code CWTCL50 for 50% off your first box of a 3-month subscription or more. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. It's about time. It's about time. It's about time for the Breed Spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I really didn't have a theme to go with this one, so I just went with like a little rock and roll because I'm wearing my Nashville guitar shirt today. Yeah, so I'm feeling it.
Oh, yeah. That says Music City, doesn't it?
Oh, before we go on with the Breed Spotlight, what I wanted to mention is we're about to hit 50,000 followers on Instagram. So thank you, everybody. This is another free way to help us grow. If you're not already following us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, please go over and hit the follow button. It helps us grow immensely. And we want to hit 50,000. Come on, get us to 50,000.
You can see Gosling spam.
And everybody, you can see us and all of our birds and everything that's going on around our homesteads. You don't want to miss it. It's fun.
We don't put any sheep stuff up.
No, we have in the past. We should do it again. We've put a video with Magpie with them and stuff like that.
Oh, but Phoebe, the cutest sheep in the world.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to the Breed Spotlight. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This week's Breed Spotlight is
the Ardennes Hen.
The Ardennes Hen. We're going rhyming, baby. We're rhyming.
That's what we need. A rhyming bird.
It's perfect for me.
The Ardennes Hen is a bird that is historically found in the Ardennes region of France and Belgium.
Oui.
Yeah. So that region is now a part of what is known as the Grand Est region of France. Ardennes historically included parts of Belgium and Luxembourg as well. So it was a pretty big territory. It's a beautiful forest region with rivers and rolling hills and lots of agriculture. Just, storybook looking villages, really beautiful.
Disney needs to make it a setting for one of their movies.
They probably have. The Ardennes Hen is another one of these very old, probably landrace breeds of chicken from Europe. You will sometimes see or hear them called Ardenners and Ardennes.
Or Ardennes Hen.
The Ardennes Hen.
Yeah.
They're a medium weight breed that are known to be active and resourceful. They're sometimes known, I love this, as bush hens for their habit of perching in scrub trees and bushes and basically being scrappy little birds that are curious and scavenge just about anywhere.
When you say landrace, that's the type of bird that comes to my mind is a bird that's kind of scrappy, that's going to get in the bushes, that's going to be like one with the land, kind of like I ruled this place before you people were here, so step aside.
Oh.
That's kind of what I see in them.
Good foragers, usually a bit more predator savvy.
Right.
That kind of thing, yeah. According to the Slow Food Foundation for Diversity, the Ardennes Hen is an excellent multi-purpose bird that is currently critically endangered.
Oh, no.
Just like pretty much every heritage breed out there, the Ardennes had some early conservation breeding done from the late 1800s to the early 1900s. And then the 2 world wars completely derailed them. And then after the world wars, what happened? The leghorns started arriving for more industrial laying operations. Apparently, in an effort to make these birds into really high production layers, a lot of the farmers were breeding leghorns into them.
Oh, okay.
So I think when preservation work started up again, breeders had to very carefully breed all the leghorn characteristics back out.
Oh, man. Not fun.
Yeah. A lot of work for this little bird. You'll occasionally see the Ardennes mentioned as a possible relative of the Dorking.
Didn't expect that one.
Right? But it's probably because of the white egg laying and the 5th toe. But besides being really, really old breeds, overall, there isn't a lot of evidence to link the two.
And they don't really look alike either.
No, the Ardennes is a lighter breed with a very different shape from the Dorking. Dorkings are big, long, low birds, and they are not sprightly movers like the Ardennes hens. It's a lot more likely that the Ardenners are related to the Gaulois, especially the golden Gaulois.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into characteristically what they're going to look like. So when you look them up, you're going to see lots of stuff. So they're considered a light to medium breed. So they're smaller, okay? Roosters are going to weigh in at about 5 pounds, while the hens are coming in around 4. So they're about leghorn size, which makes sense that they're trying to breed them with the leghorns here and get them to lay more eggs because they're about the same size. And they have the straight comb, the red earlobes, and most of the color varieties have the white legs, okay? So they are cute little birds. Now, there are, get this, 12 different color varieties in Europe, including a beautiful golden. So the golden's going to kind of look more like a partridge kind of chicken, or think about a Welsummer, that kind of
brown leghorn. Like they're very similar to that. They're beautiful little. I really love the golden. They're beautiful.
Let me just tell you, there is a bantam version of this little bird. It always kills me when you have a bantam version of a 4-pound bird, right? You're like, they're already little, man. And they're popular. Now, there's also a rumpless version. You want to go rumpless here, you can do that.
Yes.
So now with all this said, and we're talking about they're kind of like leghorns, but they're not, you would think these numbers would be high. But let me tell you, hens come in laying about 150 to 180, and they're large white eggs, but the number's not over the top. So here's the thing. If you want a lot of eggs, they're a smaller bird, you can have more birds. That's where you got to go with this. You're not going to be able to have, 180 is still a respectable number for a small family of 4. If you have 4 hens, it's going to give you enough. Now, they will occasionally go broody on you. And when they do, they'll be really good moms. So that's the thing to consider.
The whole thing with, obviously you don't want to dilute heritage breed genes if you can avoid it anyway. But there's a tradition in Europe that this bird is a dual purpose bird, that there is some table bird use. So when you talk about the conservation work in Europe, that's always part of what they're looking at. If you want to know more, Google it.
Now, if you're in a country where you can get some of these birds, you're pretty lucky.
They make fantastic farm or homestead birds. They're, like we said earlier, amazing foragers. They love to go scrounge for their bugs and stuff like that. It's just that you can't get them here in the US. In Europe, I do think they have a growing base that is working with the breed for conservation purposes.
Now, here's one that we're going to breed spotlight that you can't get here in the US. So this is for all of our European listeners. If you want to help and get them out of the critically endangered section over there, you can. And look for this bird and wherever you can get them because they look like a fantastic little bird.
Right. They've never been APA accepted. I don't think they've ever been traditionally used here in the US that we know of. You can get them in the UK. I definitely saw bantam versions in the UK. You can get them throughout most of Europe. Now, if you're here in the US and you're looking for other rare European breeds, check out our friends over at Greenfire Farm and see what they have.
They have lots of them that are so different that, you would never think that you could find, and they're awesome.
Mechlin turkey head is all I have to say.
Okay, so for our European listeners, if you follow us on Instagram, hit the mention button, put our name in, give it a story, and we will reshare. We want to see the Ardennes Hen.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit metzerfarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection. Roosty's proudly sponsors Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. They're back with an innovative new product. You're going to want to check this out.
It's an extra large set, a 14-pound feeder and 3-gallon water with steep anti-roost lids. They're made of super durable material. You can either stand them on legs or hang them on brackets on your coop or fence. They're easy to remove and clean too. Plus, they look awesome.
We personally use Roosties and we're huge fans. So if you're raising chicks or keeping chickens, check out the Roosty store on Amazon or follow the link in our show notes.
UK chicken lovers, this one's for you. Get happy, healthy hens with ECONourish's live Calci worms. Enrichment, nutrition, and protection in one tasty, sustainable pack. Scientifically proven to support glossy feathers, strong laying and skeletal health,
protect from disease, and improve gut health and immunity. You'll also bust flock stress by stimulating natural instincts and get eco-bragging rights. Visit econourish.co.uk and use the code COFFEE15 for 15% off your first order. Your chickens and the planet will hug you for it. Okay, so are we ready to move on to main topic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's main topic. We have a special guest for you guys here today. We have Erin Long, and she is the manager of marketing development over at the Humane Society of Harford County. That's my home county. Welcome, Erin, to the show.
Thank you. I am so excited to be with you ladies today. What is it that the kids say? I'm a longtime listener, first-time guest. I'm so excited.
We're so excited to have you because we're going to talk about some serious stuff that sometimes people don't think about, but hey, we're going to bring it to them and make you think about it a little bit.
So, Erin, we know about all of your wonderfulness, but for the benefit of our listeners, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at the Humane Society?
Sure. So me personally, I've been at the shelter for since the end of 2006. I think that's 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of fell into my job here. I was new to the area and I had never, ever set foot in a shelter, and I just knew I loved it. Like, I loved animals, and I was kind of at the point in my life where I wanted to do something to make a difference. And I started volunteering, and then very quickly I was offered a job. And I was also at the point in my life where I did not want an office job. I was kind of burned out. That's what I did before. And I was really burned out. And I I wanted to clean kennels and clean cat cages and things like that, which my parents, I went to college and my parents just couldn't believe, that I was throwing everything away to go work with animals. But I only lasted about 6 weeks, I guess, in animal care, and they plucked me out and put me in the office. So I guess that's where I was destined to be. But that was okay. I was the volunteer coordinator at the shelter for a while, and then they created the marketing position for me. And then very soon I started getting involved in the fundraising events, and everything just clicked. So that is what I do here now, is all facets of marketing, fundraising, special events, all of that stuff.
We need people like you over there at the Humane Society that love what you do, love saving animals, love making a difference, because those things are what the Humane Society is known for, what you do every day. And without that, think about the countless number of animals out there that would be lost without a home, without help. Yeah, it's amazing what you do. And thank you for wanting to do public service for animals, because so many people think about public service and it's for people. Hey, there's a whole side of it for animals.
It counts for animals too. Absolutely.
It definitely counts for animals. And bringing more recognition to the Humane Society, more money, more funding for them helps just another animal. Now, I pass the Harford County Humane Society every day to pick my daughter up at school. I love the digital billboard that gives everybody a clue of just who's inside, who might need some help.
Oh, that is like the most effective marketing ever, because I drive past you once a week when I come over here to record. Meet Scooter.
Yeah.
And then there's a photo of Scooter right on the billboard, and it just grabs your heart. Oh my goodness.
I know there's been chickens on that billboard too.
Oh, that would be dangerous.
There has. Yeah. Hopefully it makes you kind of want to turn the wheel a little bit.
Does.
Come on in. Yeah.
It does. Yes.
And I'm really lucky where I am to have you guys, because that Humane Society has been remodeled and redone as pretty recently, I think within the last 10 years or so.
Yes.
And the complex itself is amazing. I have just a tiny short story to tell about my daughters about 5 years ago. No, maybe more than that, doing a lemonade sale in our neighborhood for the Humane Society on their own. They used their Easy Bake oven at first to make Easy Bake oven cupcakes to sell to the neighbors to raise money for the Humane Society. And then quickly I was like, yeah, no, let me just get at least a box mix out there for you. Let me bake some cupcakes. And in 2 days, my generous neighbors, we made over $300 to come up to you guys and donate for the Humane Society.
I think it's adorable that they were trying to do it in the Easy Bake oven. They were all about this.
They were all about it. I'm like, look, we can't serve Easy Bake oven stuff to the neighbors. That's like Play-Doh, man. But we can serve them some at least box, cupcakes. And my neighbors, thank you to them, like pulling out $20 and $40 to give to the Humane Society of Harford County. That's what community is about, and helping these animals and saving them. So yeah, it's amazing.
It is, and we kind of all laugh about that. It's cute. But really it's kind of the highlight of our day is seeing the youth come in, and they're so proud. And, whether it's $10 from their piggy bank, or we had a local middle school that did penny wars, and they brought in their spare change and they raised over $1,000.
Wow.
Love it.
And I mean, our youth, they're making a huge difference, and I love it too. It's wonderful.
It's amazing. Now, the other thing you love is chickens. So let's go into the second question. Now, we all first met because you also worked at the animal hospital where Dr. Rebecca works over at Pleasantville, which is one of my stops, usually weekly, right? So I'm usually seeing somebody there. And we met there. And let's talk about your flock. Do you have a flock of chickens? And what type of chickens do you have?
Do I have a flock? I do. My husband and I, right when the pandemic started, we got a flock of just, 6 or 8 hens. And chicken math, and the fact that I work at the shelter, and now the flock has grown to be about 40.
Love it.
And it's a mixed flock. I have everything from my favorite chicken is my hen, Poppy, and she is a Turkin. And
Nice.
I adopted her from the shelters. She came in, I think she was a stray. It's funny, all the staff here, when I was adopting her, they're like, what's wrong with her? And I said, absolutely nothing.
I'm kind of jealous. If I had seen Poppy up on the electric
digital
billboard,
board?
I would have come in. I would have said, that turkey hen, please.
She would have been like, Erin, give up the turkey.
I had a little bit of insider information, so I just snapped her up and I love her. She's wonderful. I have even some hens that were part of a cockfighting ring that was broken up here in Harford County. And they're very, very flighty because probably they were kept by themselves in little cages, but I love them all the same. So I completely just have a mixed flock of everything.
Thank you. I mean, I think we have to say that. Thank you for adopting these hens in need and giving them a second chance at a really good life. I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you. Well, they give as much to me as I get from them. I mean, or whatever. What is that?
Yeah. Who saved two?
It's mutually,
Who saved two?
It's mutually beneficial. Yes.
Thank you. Mutually beneficial.
Mutually, I'm sure.
My favorite thing to do when I decompress, I come home from work in the evening to decompress is, go and sit and watch them. And it's my favorite thing.
Yeah, that's really special.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have, this is a practical question, do you have a place where you can quarantine them for a little while, just to check them out before they go into the main flock?
I do. I got last year, I got what I call my little hospital coop because I actually fostered a rooster. I'm not allowed to have roosters where I am, but I took him home. I'll tell you a little story if we have time.
Yeah.
But he wasn't crowing. He came in, he had been attacked by a fox, and a good Samaritan had witnessed it from her back door. I guess he wandered into her yard and she brought him over, and he had horrible bruising on his neck. He was like yellow and all these colors. His head hung down. He really couldn't hold his head up on his own. And he definitely wasn't crowing. So I knew that he was not going to be able to eat or drink, and probably he couldn't. He would fall into it. I was afraid he would drown. So I took him home, and he was my first resident in my hospital, and I nursed him back to health. And the first time he crowed, my heart just soared. I was so happy for him that he was going to be okay. And actually, one of the techs out at Pleasantville ended up adopting him. Yeah, she has a special needs chicken, and she said that the two of them have become best buds.
I think that we spend so much time focused on hen health, and for good reason, that you just reminded me, as somebody who has a whole passel of roosters, when you hear like a day goes by and your rooster's not crowing, that's a sign of something wrong.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not a healthy crow, is always a sign that something is not right, and you want to get that checked out.
Yeah.
And you want to watch out for predator attacks even more with the roosters who are protecting the hens, because they're going to be first in line.
Yeah.
So that's their job, but we want to protect them and get them taken care of. So, wow, I'm sure you could tell us a million stories of things coming in through the Humane Society.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about rooster plans. We're huge advocates for it, and you are definitely on board with the rooster plan. Why does a chicken keeper need a rooster plan? Like, what are some of the things they might come up against?
So I kind of learned this personally when we started out in our chickening adventure, and we bought some chicks. I don't know if we got them from Tractor Supply. It doesn't matter, but we got some chicks, and inevitably a couple of them ended up being roosters.
Mm-hmm. Of course, because that's what happens. Even when you're buying sexed chicks, you can still get that, it happens,
I've had it happen. Yeah.
Sure. So having a rooster plan just involves knowing, having some outlets and some avenues. Are you going to go on one of the groups on Facebook, and are you going to host your rooster there? Are you going to, maybe you have a friend, or maybe you'll put something on your own social media or whatever it is, but it's just always keeping in the back of your mind that could happen. Mm-hmm. And having that plan to rehome them.
Oh, I was just saying there's different avenues you can go down. Exactly what you were saying. There's social media. There's going to your local veterinarian's office and, maybe putting a flyer up in there. And this is one thing that we were talking about before we were even recording was knowing the person that's going to adopt your bird is really, really important because there are a lot of scary people doing some bad things to roosters when they just take them off your hands for no reason.
Oh, absolutely. They can tell you, I guess, behind the screen and the keyboard, all kinds of things. But, I would suggest too, if you have to go that route and rehome your bird to somebody you don't know, I would suggest going, if it's safe, go in numbers, but go and check out, their property and where are they going to be keeping the rooster. Definitely, I see posts all the time for people that, free to a good home. And I just die a little because I'm just a big advocate. Just charge a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that weeds out the people that don't have good intentions.
Yep.
And it's
we say that about chicks
for a little
too.
bit of money.
We say that about chicks too. I mean, chicks are priced at $3, $4. Maybe they should be priced a little bit more and people would put a little bit more thought into buying so many of them and what they're supposed to do with them or them being stuck in that situation.
I completely agree. I don't think the stores charge enough. And I certainly don't think private breeders who are doing good things charge enough for chickens. Just my opinion.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
So when I worked in an animal hospital, I was in charge of animal adoption because I worked at a very large urban, I always want to say rural, a very large urban animal hospital in Baltimore City. And we had a lot of what we call dumps. So a lot of people, he would either just chain animals outside, leave them on the doorstep or not come back for
boxes of critters.
And I was the person in charge of that. And I had a philosophy that I made people come back 3 times. And at first, the staff was like, why are you doing this? Let's just give the people. And I was like, no, because they need to keep coming back and realizing that they're making the same decision each time and not a win, So this is a big time decision. So if you come in once and you visit for however long. Are you interested? Come back in a week, do another visit. Then if you're still interested, then come back a 3rd time and then we'll do the application. And that's how I worked it because I feel the same way. Yeah, it was hardcore, man. And
I would have dropped out of that.
People did not drop out of it.
I would have dropped out. I would have been like, lady, you had your mind.
They came back the 3rd time. And then I knew I had a good person at that point that was in it for the real deal, Oh, I was like hardcore.
Clearly I'm a bad person because I would have been like, yeah, wait.
Do you want a job?
It worked.
Right?
It actually worked.
You could be an adoption counselor here at the shelter.
There you go.
But it was
clearly good at it.
It was one of those things. And they would be like, we can't take the animal today. I'm like, oh, no. You have to come back 2 more times. And then I know you really want them.
Here's where you lost me. I get visiting the first time and I get coming back the second time. But you're not even starting my application until the 3rd time. I ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I can take this out. I can take it out of you.
But
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Show dedication to one animal.
Absolutely.
And at first, my boss was like, what are you doing to us here? And then at the end, he was like, this is working. And I'm like, see? Believe. Because and sometimes if you let them go once on the first time, you get a lot of bringing them back. They're like, I didn't know what I was doing. I just took this animal, And the 3rd time you start the animal, I passed that the 3rd time before the hardcore. I am hardcore,
man.
I'm like in there. I'm like,
you're a hard
come
woman.
In my office. Do you have blood? Did you bring the syringe? Man, I was taking care of these animals the whole time they were there. So I had an investment in every single one of these animals,
right?
Because I had been taking care of them every day. So they were like my babies. And I'm like, can you tell me the middle name of your firstborn? Like what the application was like.
DNA for your future children.
Next time on the 4th time, bring a vial of blood, please.
And I'll let you see the dog that maybe you can adopt.
And then now it would be a chicken. It would be like,
all bets are off then.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you there. The chicken I can get on board with. Yeah.
Oh, come on. What dogs the cat?
I mean, I agree with you. I'm just thinking personally, I would have been so irritated.
Yeah. You would have been like, I love this cat. I need to come back.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been the fact that part of this is probably because I live in the middle of nowhere. And like the thought of somebody making me drive 3 times before they start the application.
off the rails here.
We are off the rails. Don't worry, I'll fix it all. We always fix it. Anyway,
you can leave some of it.
That made me think too, though, that, most shelters, bringing it all back as to what you were saying, though, most shelters, we're an open admission shelter, and they're kind of under the gun to find placement quickly for their animals. So we're not that rigid. We don't make you come back 3 times, but we do have an application. There is an adoption fee. And I think most shelters are going to be like that. So, as long as you will get your application approved, and then it's usually same day adoption.
He references 15 or 20.
Oh my God. She is hardcore. How many chickens do you see come through in like a year?
Oh gosh. I mean, it varies, but I would say probably between 30 and maybe 50.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Do you think that's okay?
Yeah, we do think that's a lot.
And what percentile are boys? Are they like 90% boys?
Absolutely, yeah. We have one right now. We just got one yesterday, and it's starting. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's young. I went out.
That's why we wanted to talk to you now. That's why we wanted to talk to you right now, because now we're at the point where people have gotten their chicks and they're starting to get, the messages in, is this a boy? Is this a boy? And then starting to realize, oh no. And that's why the rooster plan, knowing what you're going to do, what avenue you're going to go about. I always joke around and say, Holly-Ann's my rooster plan, but it is a plan. You have some sort of plan of where you're going to do. And the other thing is hatching. Before you hatch, know that there are going to be a lot of boys in those hatches.
I know hatching is so fun and it's so attractive, especially for people with kids. And I get that. But man, if you can't keep those boys, my personal opinion, and I know this is hardcore, don't hatch if you can't keep those boys. I don't think it's fair. Or you're not willing to be responsible for their entire life.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And, using the shelter, I tell people should always be your last resort.
Yeah.
You've exhausted everything else and you're in a pinch and that rooster's got to go because your neighbor's getting mad. It should always be your last resort.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to the question of what's the role of the Humane Society in all of this? And what can you do to help these chickens? And what are you doing? You're doing a lot. That's what I know. But let's put it on the line. Like, what are you doing to help these boys out there? Because it's a lot.
So our role in Harford County is we have a contract with the county. And so we're sheltering all of their stray, neglected, unwanted animals. So animal control, we work with them. They're bringing us animals. There's animals coming in the front door from the public. They're just really at this time of year, well, all year round, they're coming to us, from just all avenues. And as I've said before, we have limited space and we're lucky. I'm talking about, here on the East Coast, but I know there's shelters around the country that are not equipped. They don't have a barn like we do. We have 4 or 5 enclosed areas that are predator proof. We went to great lengths to make sure we had that, and there's a lot of shelters that are keeping their birds in dog kennels, in crates. They just don't have the adequate housing and they're not prepared. And so, we are very lucky that we have that. But our role it's to find placement, whether we're working with, we've sent some roosters to sanctuaries that we've worked with. But eventually that's not a finite, place, because eventually they're going to get full too and not be able to take any more. So that is an avenue we do have. We depend on people to come and adopt. A couple weeks ago, we had our very last rooster that we had kind of from 2023. And a woman came in with her 2 boys and she said, we wanted to rescue. We don't want to go buy a chick or anything like that. We are on a mission to rescue, and they adopted him. They didn't even hold him. They were like, they looked at him and said, we want him.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
it was I get chills. It was amazing. So honestly, just always be looking at your local shelter on their website and seeing what they have before you make the decision to buy chicks or go on Facebook and get a chicken or a rooster or whatever. Just always look at your local shelter.
I mean, you could get a turkin and you don't even know it. You could get a turkin hen and you could rescue. It's one of those things. And I love the Harford County Humane Society. I love everything about it. the thing that we're blessed with is we're in a rural county, but we do have some good finances in our county.
Yeah.
So we do have the ability to help these animals and make a really great situation. And the thing we were talking about on the phone, Erin, is you and I, you're placing these roosters. So the community is coming in and helping these roosters. I mean, there are horror stories where people just dump them behind the Home Depot. Somebody told me this story. I'm like, are you crazy? You're telling me this story? Seriously? That somebody just dumps them behind a store and that's their rooster plan. Shame on them.
Yeah.
The last resort would be to come to the Humane Society and say, I've exhausted every single avenue. I can't find anybody that I trust to take this rooster. Can you help me? And then the people that work there are amazing and work some wonders and miracles and place these animals. And without you, man, those poor animals, you do an amazing job.
No, thank you. Yeah, shelter workers, my colleagues, my hat's off to them because we have to know how to take care of not just cats and dogs, but we have to know how to take care of small animals and reptiles and farm animals. I mean, we've had pigs and goats and cows and all of that. So yeah, I mean, my hat's off to the folks that are boots on the ground and are taking care of all these animals.
And I love driving by and seeing our community members walking the dogs. I love it.
Yeah.
It is. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
It is. Yeah. And like I said, I drive by and, I look at the board and I'm like, oh, there's a bunny or, like there's always different animals in there that you guys are helping. And thank you.
Well, and thank you to our community. And, if anybody's listening and lives near a shelter, I mean, donate. Shelters are strapped right now. We're all across the country. We're very, very full. And we're no exception here in Harford County. So, donate mealworms. It might sound kind of ridiculous, like really mealworms? Please donate the, chicken feed. Find out what kind of chicken feed they need. Enrichment. We have to go out and buy our own enrichment. We have the funds. Again, thank goodness. But,
if you have an easy bake oven, pull it out. Right. Bake some cupcakes, sell them to the neighbors, and get that money up to the SPCA or to the Humane Society.
It makes a difference.
If you have some stuff specifically for the Humane Society of Harford County, but anyone anywhere, let's say you have some stuff or you want to donate money. Is it best to check out the website first, see if there are like a donation information there?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea to check out the website and see what's on the wish list or, what are the hours where you can donate. Call the shelter or email them. Shelter workers, if you're going to be making a donation, shelter workers are really happy to talk to you and tell you everything you need to know. Absolutely.
My girls were so excited because we got like a certificate in the mail afterwards and, like they took their picture and everything else. And they were so happy. Every small bit makes a difference. Just
how many chickens do you have in the shelter right now?
Thankfully, we just have the one.
Okay.
But it starts every year around this time because this is when everybody's getting chicks.
Yep.
And they get those surprise roosters they were not expecting. We even had one time we had two young ladies and they had the best of intentions. We have a Tractor Supply that's literally across the street from us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they went in and it must have been maybe the end of chick season and they bought like 2 or 3 chicks and they felt sorry for them and they brought them right over here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's like, well, that's not helping. But
no.
But where was I going with this?
I was asking how many chickens you had in at the time.
Yeah.
I think you're probably talking about the spring deluge
it's about
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself, but yes. So yeah, it definitely starts to come. We can see it, and we'll start to get roosters, and we'll start to fill up. And the thing that kind of breaks my heart is that they're here, even though we have the pen, and we've got some enrichment, and we've got all these things. They are out there by themselves. We don't keep them together, and they will sit here for months and months and months.
Yeah.
So here's our plea to the public: if you're local. There's a rooster over at the Harford County Humane Society. If you're, you want to add a rooster to your flock for whatever reason, there's one over there that needs a home. Wherever you are, check your local Humane Society and see who's there.
Yeah.
Get yourself a little quarantine set up.
Yeah.
And, shelter workers, I know across the country, shelter workers do their absolute best with all the different species. Sometimes they may not know
a lot about a bird to tell you, look for this or look for that, but they're going to tell you what they do know because they want the best for these animals.
You got it. Yep. You are absolutely right.
Yeah. Last question.
Well, we could probably talk all day about this. In fact, I know we could talk
I think we're going
all
to
day
have
about
Erin back
this.
on to talk a little bit
Yeah.
more at some point.
I think that would be great. So this is the question that we ask all of our guests.
Completely
It is
unfair.
yes, but we ask it anyway. And you are allowed to have more than one answer. What is your favorite breed of chicken?
Oh my gosh. I knew you were going to ask me this and I'm still not prepared for it.
No one's ever prepared. Even we tell them ahead of time and everyone's like, ah.
I had a lovely, I don't even know what she was. She was blind. She came into the shelter in really bad condition and she was thin. And I quickly determined that she was not able to see. We put some food in front of her and she was pecking the air but she became, oh my gosh, she was my house chicken for a little while because I couldn't put her out with my flock. We don't know how old she was, but she only lived, I don't know, about 9 months, but I think she had the best 9 months she'd ever had.
Aw.
So I don't know. I have to go back. It's a tie between, I love my Saramas, but then I love my Turkin that I was talking about.
You would be the second person on the show ever who has chosen Turkin as one of the favorites.
Dwayne over at Neutrina Feeds loves the Turkin.
Loves the Turkin.
It's all-time favorite chicken. So you're in good company over there with the Turkin.
She talks to me all the time. And when the treats come out, she's right there. Come on, give me the treats. She's just, and her little bowl cut just cracks me up every time,
And she's a rescue.
She's so ugly. She's pretty. Yeah.
They're so unique and they are so funny looking. And frankly, I think the chicks are ridiculously cute. But it's hard not to love a bird that looks that way. It looks so much like a cross between a chicken and a turkey that people literally call it a turkin.
And if you talk to Twain over at Neutrina, he says they're the smartest chickens he's ever met. They're super intelligent. So
she's just super chill too. Like she does her thing. And when everybody else kind of gets their feathers ruffled, pun intended, she's just totally chill. Nothing bothers her.
You said her name is Poppy?
Poppy, yeah.
Oh, Erin, you've got to send us some photos of Poppy. I'm in love with Poppy and I haven't seen her yet.
I will certainly send you photos.
Okay, so we want to thank Erin so much for coming on for this hour and talking to us today because, hey, what would we do without the Humane Society?
Seriously,
I don't know.
A giant thank you to Erin and a giant thank you to all of the shelter workers out there.
Thank you.
All of the blood, sweat, tears.
And have a rooster plan. Seriously.
Absolutely.
It's so important. Thank you, Erin. And we'll have you back on the show again soon. We'll talk to you later.
I would love that. Thanks, ladies.
Bye.
We just want to thank Erin one more time for taking her time out of her busy day to talk to us about birds in shelters. She's given us a lot of food for thought. Go check out. You can use Adopt-A-Bird Network to find birds in shelters near you. Just make sure you have your quarantine set up in place to keep your birds safe.
Definitely. Thank you, Erin. You're such a sweet lady. Okay, so we're ready to move on to
Cracking the eggs.
Cracking those eggs. Now, this week we're doing a Drop Biscuit Egg Bake because you got a lot of eggs. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, you can knock out almost a dozen eggs with this recipe, so we were on board.
It's egg season, people. We got a lot of eggs. We got to use recipes where we're using them.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go into the ingredients of this recipe. Let's start with 1 package of sausage or veggie sausage, sliced or turkey sausage,
right.
Sliced and cooked. 2 medium tomatoes, chopped and drained a bit. 1 small zucchini, shredded, and as much moisture as you can, squeeze it out in a tea towel or paper towel. 1.5 cups of shredded cheese or dairy-free shredded cheese. We used mozzarella and cheddar. Those are the easier ones to find for dairy-free.
They are so delicious.
Here's our eggs coming in at 10 large eggs. And if you want to make it a little bit more, you could probably just do a full dozen and be fine.
You can. Yeah.
1.5 cups of whole milk or thick and creamy plant milk. 1 tablespoon each of freshly chopped basil, dill, and or chives, or you can do 1 teaspoon dried, okay, of each of those. And 1/4 teaspoon of each salt and pepper. Now, I'm going to go right into the biscuit topping so that we have all these ingredients out there. If you'd like to use Bisquick, that's fine. Not a problem.
I'm raising my hand.
Use it. If you don't, you want to go, from scratch, 2 cups of all-purpose flour or gluten-free 1-to-1, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter or dairy-free butter, a cup of whole milk or creamy dairy-free plant milk, and this is optional, 2 tablespoons of butter or dairy-free butter melted for topping, okay?
You're going to preheat your oven to 375. Generously grease a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Layer the sausage, veggies, and cheese in the bottom of the pan. You're going to whisk the eggs, milk, herbs, salt, and pepper together in a large bowl and carefully pour that over top of the meat and veg and cheese. You just don't want to send it all to one side of the dish.
Right.
Set that aside while you make your toppings. Me, I'm doing gluten-free Bisquick, thank you very much.
Oh, Bisquick makes it gluten-free. That's good.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a bunch of different flours blended. It's actually great. Make your biscuit topping. Whisk your flour, baking powder, and salt together in a large bowl, or you can use your food processor. Just make the crust that way if it's quick and easy. Add your 6 tablespoons of cubed butter, and you're going to cut that in with a pastry cutter until things are crumbly, coarse meal looking.
Right.
Add the milk. Then stir that in, or if you're in the food processor, pulse it a few times until the dough starts to come together. It's going to be like a wet, kind of shaggy dough.
Right.
Almost. If it's too dry, you can add a little more milk. Just be careful because a little goes a long way. Now you're going to drop your biscuit dough. So I like to use 2 tablespoons for this.
Right.
Big tablespoons, not measuring size, but tablespoons from
eating.
Yes.
Or you know what you could use too? An ice cream scoop, which would be awesome.
You could, anything like that will work. So you're going to divide this into you're going to do 20 dollops of this.
Right.
So not as big as, say, if you were using it for a really big drop biscuit, a little smaller than that. It doesn't have to be neat or perfect. You're just going to drop those on top, kind of like the way you make a cobbler. You make a fruit cobbler, like that. If you're using the melted butter and drizzling that on top, you can do that now. I actually did not put anything on top of the biscuits until about 10 minutes before baking.
Right.
And sprinkled some herbs and cheese on there. It's completely it's your own judgment, whatever you want to do.
Now, this recipe is it's kind of like our reversed egg bake. So generally with the other egg bakes, you put the bread in with the egg mixture.
Right.
So you're going to cube some bread. This one, you're using biscuit on top. Right. So it's still going to give you the same effect here.
You're going to bake this for about 45 to 50 minutes or until the biscuits are golden brown on top. Remove it from the oven. Let it cool for 5 or 10 minutes before you slice and serve. It gives the eggs a chance to set a little bit.
Right.
You can cover this and refrigerate it for about a week. I don't know that it's going to last that long, but you can keep it that long if you want.
We always do recipes that you can change up, make your own. If you want to add peppers or onions or something else in with it, something, even more seasonal. Cook them beforehand, though.
Right. I was going to say that. Yeah. The magic of this is that there's nothing cooked before, except for the meat if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to add other veggies that need far cooking, you can add them in with your sausage or your veggie sausage.
I always cook my veggies before I bake them with the eggs first to get all the moisture out because they tend, if you don't, make your eggs really watery when you bake them. So yeah, it's just you could use it for dinner. You could use it for lunch. You could take it somewhere for, a picnic.
Once it's set up, it slices really well. So you can do a lot with it.
Yeah. So try it. You might like it. Send us a picture because it could be a really pretty recipe. Okay. So let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. Okay, this week we're going to be talking about our friend Stephanie. She's from Minnesota from scratch, and she does some really cool jewelry.
She does. She does metal stamp jewelry. It's fantastic designs. I do not know when this busy woman has time to make such amazing jewelry. My absolute favorite of everything she makes are the metal stamped bangles.
She has so much fun stuff that she does.
Yeah.
And she does it all by hand. And I love someone that's an artisan that does this kind of stuff. And I don't know, I'm with you. How does she have time to do all this stuff?
She's amazing to me, honestly. She does a lot of custom work too. So we'll have her, she sells off of her Facebook page. and we'll have that linked in the show notes. But she does a lot of custom work. So you can take a look at what she has and, drop her a message.
If you want chickens, maybe she can do a chicken for you. I don't see why not. Maybe she could do it.
I didn't see any chickens in her stuff so far, but that doesn't mean it might not happen.
Exactly. So she has a Facebook page. It's Minnesota from Scratch, hand stamped, custom jewelry and more. If you go over to Facebook, you can do that. And you can message her on Messenger straight from there if you want to inquire about getting the jewelry. So we just wanted to mention her because she's just so amazing and she does a lot of nice stuff. Okay. Yeah. So should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, we are revisiting, and I happen to have some of these cuties in my brooder. We are revisiting one of our favorite birds of all time, the salmon faverol.
Oh, yay. Can't wait.
Main topic. We've been getting a lot of questions about this, so we are going to clear up the mysteries around amprolium, medicated feed, thiamine, and coccidiosis.
Yes, we're talking about it all.
Cracking the eggs, peach jam cake. Perfect.
It's summertime. Yeah, you need something good.
And retail therapy. We are reviewing, I'm reviewing Vitamets. It's the new vitamin supplement from Metzer Farms. I've been using it with the goslings to great effect. So we're going to review that for you next week.
It's awesome. So what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens
every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Thanks for listening.